Hello, this is SJ Talks in Life coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you. I just did a video about misconceptions about for the 4B movement and decentering men. I haven't yet posted that video yet, so I think that's what I'm going to title it. Um, I'm doing a I just did a video. I'm gonna post these videos back to back, but I'm gonna probably put part two or continued or part two on this one. I had some more thoughts to add to that. That's the reason why I'm doing a part two. I haven't done a part two video in a long time, but the reason I try to get everything done in one video because I really hate doing part twos. But um I got to thinking and I had some more to add to that. Misconceptions about the 4B movement and decentering men. um, I had some more things that I needed to add because I think that there's a lot of misconceptions. Men are having a lot of misconceptions about that. And as I said in the other video, they think that women are doing that because of some type of bitterness towards men or trying to get back at men or trying to get men to change their behaviors. They think that we're doing it for behavior modification reasons, that we're trying to get men to modify their behavior, that we're doing it because we're bitter, we got to axe to grind or something like that. And that's, and I was basically saying that that is not the reason why a lot of women are doing that. That is not the reason why a lot of women are deciding to decenter men and forego dating, marriage, babies. More women are even making the decision to, excuse me, to remain celibate. And it's, we live in such a patriarchal society, and um, women are always told that we need to, that marriage and children is the priority over everything else. That's the main thing over everything else. And some men even have the mindset, or even some women have the mindset that that's what we were put here for, was to procreate and have kids and to be a wife. And that's what women have always been told. That we've always been told. We've all been programmed over the years. All of us women have been, including myself, we was all programmed to think that that's what we're supposed to do. Um, it was an episode in Sex and the City. Sex and the City was my guilty pleasure. It's my guilty pleasure. I loved watching that show. I know a lot of people liked watching that show. Um, but Carrie Bradshaw was a writer. She had like a sex column, and she always did voiceover. If you watch that show, you know that she always did voiceovers and stuff like that. And in one episode in particular, she was saying that when she was doing her voiceover, she was sitting at her table thinking about what to write, and she was doing her voiceover, and she said, um, um is getting married and having children. I think, now don't quote me, that might not have been what she said verbatim, but um I'm gonna try to quote it the best way I can. She said, getting married and having children, why do we want this? Do we want this because society told us, that this is what we want? Or do women really want that? Do women do That was the question she was asking in her voiceover, sitting at her table thinking about what to write. She was thinking, um, do women really want this? Do women really want to get married and have children? Or, I mean, maybe she was talking about marriage. Or is it because society told women this is what they want? Because society told women this is what women should do, and it kind of like brainwashed us into thinking that, okay, this is what we're supposed to do as women. And I know that we have the equipment to procreate, God gave us the equipment to procreate. I know we have the equipment to procreate, but but this is what society has said that women should do. So a lot of women are being, a lot of us women, especially us baby boomers and Gen Xers, our generations, yeah, I mean, media, a lot of media and everything in society. When I was coming up, and the baby boomers, when you look at some of the old TV shows, Leave It to Beaver, and I could name a whole bunch of them where there was a wife and she was a homemaker, and that's what the women did. They took care of the kids, and a traditional wife. They call it trad wife, a traditional wife. She took care of the kids. Even my mother was a trad wife, short for traditional. It's just short for traditional wife. My mother, me and my sister was just talking about that the other day. My mother, now I know a different mother, because by the time my father left when I was 5, so by the time my mother was married to my father for 10 years, but my father left when I was 5. I don't remember him before that. And so my older sister remembers everything, and she remembers when my mother was a housewife, well, stay at home mom. They call it stay at home mom now, but back then it was called housewife. And she remembers when my mother took care of us kids, cooked, cleaned. My father went out and worked and brought home the money, paid the bills and all that. And my mother took care of us, and she also took care of my aunt's 2 sons, my 2 cousins. My mother took care of 6 kids altogether, because my mother took care of us when she had 4 kids, but she also took care of my aunt's 2 sons, because my aunt was in the service. So my mother took care of her 2 sons. Okay, so my oldest sister and my cousin, one of my aunt's sons is literally the same age. They were born the same month in the same year. So my mother literally took care of 6 kids, and she was a trad wife, a traditional wife. She stayed home, took care of us kids. We're talking about the 60s, back in the 60s. My mother took care of us kids. She cooked, she cleaned, made sure my father was good, made sure he was good, made sure that, he had meals and his clothes was clean and all that. And she did all that. Now, I don't have no memory of that because, mind you, I was 5 years old when my father left. I don't remember anything before the age of 5, literally. So I love it when my sister tells me, I remember when mom brought you home from the hospital, and then I love it. I love to hear her tell those stories, and I remember when daddy did this with us and he did that, and I love those stories because I literally don't remember my father before the age of 5. It's really sad. It makes me sad sometimes, but oh well, it is what it is. Such is life. But back in the 60s, a little bit of family history there. But back in the 60s, and a lot of times the 70s, that's what women did. That's what women did. 50s, particularly before the 1970s, really when the 1970s came, once the 1970s came, there was a shift, and particularly in the black community, because that's when black men always hollered at, and they're still hollering at now, claiming that the welfare system took the man out of the home. That wasn't always the case. That wasn't the case with my father, but I digress with that. They claiming that's in the 70s that the welfare system took the man out of the home. That wasn't always the case. Okay. But that's That's a talking point with the red pill. The manosphere and the red pill, that's their talking points. They're still talking about. I had to tell one guy in my, I think, I don't know, was it my comment section? He was talking about that. I said, since welfare reform, because he was trying to say, he was still trying to say that that's why the black men aren't in the home because of the welfare system. He was still trying to say that that's still the case now. And I told him no. I said, since welfare reform in the mid 90s, since welfare reform in the mid 90s took place in the mid 90s, there was a work requirement. Women had to go back to work. Okay. So it's not like that anymore. Okay. A lot of women are working. And now, in order to get food stamps, you got to be working. So the welfare system changed in the mid 90s. So that's what I was trying to explain to him. And then he kept trying to say that was the reason why the black man wasn't in the home now. So I told him, I'm going to need you to come back to, this was last year. I'm going to need you to come back to the year 2023. Okay. I'm going to need you to come back to the year 2023. I'm going to need you to come up to the year 2023 because that's not the case anymore. That's not the case of the reason why black men is not there anymore. You know, because there's a lot of black women in the workforce. There's a work requirement. Nobody can just sit on welfare anymore. Anyway, I know I'm getting way off topic because that's a whole nother video. I'm just saying. But there was a shift in the 70s, as I'm saying. And then more women went into the workforce. You had less traditional wives, more single mothers. There was a shift from 1970s moving forward. You had more single mothers, more women were entering the workforce, and there was a shift. So you had less traditional wives. Plus, on top of that, the economy started changing. Everything started slowly getting more expensive and things like that. Now things are just crazy expensive. So, you have all these shifts in everything that, you don't have too many traditional wives anymore. You don't have too many traditional families anymore. I know a lot of people are starting to make the decision, and couples are starting to make the decision of the wife staying home because childcare expenses are through the roof. But, and that's the thing. There was that shift, and so it's not so much. Then women started getting into careers. More women started going to college. More women started, and that's women's rights started to evolve, because back in the day women didn't have a whole lot of rights. But women's 70s, 1970s moving forward, women's rights started to evolve. Okay. And we started getting more rights and things like that. So women started getting more women. Back in the day, women went to college to get a man. Back in the olden days, women literally went to college to get a man, to get a husband, to catch a husband. But now women are getting more into their careers, and women started making more money, becoming more independent, and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So now there's a shift, and that's the shift now. The shift now is more women are into careers now. More women have these careers. More women can make, black women have a high entrepreneurship rate. More black women are starting businesses and stuff like that. And so you got more women businesses across the board. So that's another shift. So more women are getting away from that traditional roles, the traditional wife, mother roles. Women are getting away from that. And that's one of the reasons why the birth rates are getting lower, because more women are getting away from that. And more women are focusing on their careers and things like that. And so that was another shift. But anyway, I just wanted to make the point that some other reasons why women are deciding to do that is because the domestic violence rate is high in the black community, And women are tired of being getting into these marriages and being abused, because the Bible says the women are the weaker vessel. It says us women, we are the weaker vessel. So we have to really, really be careful. Women have to really be careful who they get as their male head. You know, women have, because of the fact that we are the weaker vessel, we have to really, 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 really be careful of who we get as a male head. Because once you get married, it's hard to pull up out of that thing. You know what I mean? And so a lot of women are tired of um 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 being subjected to. If you get married, okay, this is who you stuck with, and this man, if this man turns out to be abusive, whether it be physically, emotionally, sexually, and yes, I did say sexually, because men can sexually abuse women even in marriages. I know that's a big misconception that no, women can still be sexually abused even in a marriage. Ask Lorena Bobbitt. I'll leave that right there with you. So women can be sexually abused even in a marriage. So, you know, women a lot of women are being subjected to abuse when they're getting into these marriages and these relationships. And a lot of women are like, well, I don't know if I want to take the chance. I don't know if I want to take the chance, especially if they've endured some type of abuse before, especially if they was in an abusive marriage or relationship before. Okay. They don't want to take that chance again. Okay. So a lot of women are decentering in 4B for that reason, because they don't want to take the chance of being subjected to abuse. And like I said in the last video, women have to put so much into marriages. Women have to put so much into, when women do get married and get into a relationship, we typically have to put so much into that marriage and taking care of that man. If we children, making sure that man is good, making sure them kids is good, and then a lot of times the men fall short on their end, unless you got a really, really blessed, considerate husband. If you don't have a really blessed and kind and loving and considerate husband, you know, um, those women are on the losing. They're on the losing end on that, because they're not. The men is they're working, but they're not coming home doing nothing. They're not coming home helping with the kids and all that kind of stuff. And women having to do all that. Women are having to, especially if the woman is working outside the home, she still got to come home and take care of the kids and the husband. She got to take care of his physical needs, his emotional needs, and everything, and then she got to tend to the kids. That's a lot. That's a lot. Like a lot of these men was talking about 50-50, but if a woman got to work full time to do 50-50, and if there's kids, she got to go to work at least 40 hours a week, come home and take care of them kids and take care of that husband, trying to keep the house clean and do laundry and this and that and other. It's a lot. It's a lot. And the man is only doing a quarter. If he's only doing a quarter, and a lot of women are opting out because of that. Because they're realizing that everything women got to pour into everything a woman got to pour into a marriage, everything a woman got to pour into being a mother. Because I didn't have a husband, but I was a single mom, and I had to pour so much into my kids. Working, coming home, I had to pour so much into my kids and maintaining and taking care of my kids. Just imagine having a husband on top of that. And I had the nerve to want to get married. Well, I didn't like being a single mom. I'm gonna be honest. I hated being a single mother. But in my mind, I could have some help. But just because having a husband don't guarantee no help. Having a husband don't guarantee you're gonna have no help. Because women have to keep in mind you gotta take care of him too. And if he one of those men that come home and don't want to help you do nothing, then you not okay. It's like you're a married single mother. So, but women, a lot of times get caught up in these fantasies and things like that. But when you stop fantasizing and you come back down to earth, you that's when you get you stop looking at the world through rose-colored glasses and start looking at the world the way it really is and looking at the realities of things. That's how, and that's what a lot of women are starting to do. They're realizing that they have to pour so much more into a marriage, into motherhood, that they don't want to be left empty and not being able to have enough for themselves. And that's what's happening to a lot of women. You know, like when I was raising my kids, I took the time to take care of myself. I would go to the gym, and I made sure I carved out enough time for self-care. And I made sure that I wasn't working so much to the point to where I did not only not have time for my kids, but I didn't have time to pour into myself and work on myself. But there was times where I was running on empty. There were times where I was running on empty. You know, it's going to be like that a lot when you're a single mom. And so that's what I'm saying. When you're a mother and then you be a mother and a wife, women are realizing that they got to pour too much into these things. They have to pour too much into the kids. They have to pour too much into a husband. And then they're coming to realize that I don't want to not have enough for myself. And women lose themselves. They lose themselves in these marriages, being a wife and a mother. And then you so busy being a wife and a mother, you don't know who you are. There's no time sometime after doing all that, there ain't no time to pour into yourself. Well, a lot of women are opting out for that reason. No, they're starting to realize that no, I want to take the time to pour into myself. I want to take the time to pour into myself. I don't want to be giving all this to a man and giving all this to a kid and not have enough to pour into myself. So that's the reason why a lot of women is coming to that. And these younger ladies are smart. These younger ladies are smart. I take my hat off to them. They smart because they're seeing what the Gen Xers and the baby boomers went through. They're seeing what their mothers and grandmothers went through, and they're looking at that and they're like, I'll pass. I'm not going through that. They're playing it smart. A lot of these young ladies are smarter. They're looking at that. They're looking at what their mothers and aunts and grandmothers went through and stuff with men and being in motherhood, and they're like, I opt out of that. Especially if they already know that they're having some issues, maybe mentally or whatever. They're like, no, I'm gonna go and opt out of that. I'm not gonna have enough to do. I'm not gonna have enough to be a mother. I'm not gonna have enough to be a wife. I'm gonna go on and opt out of that. So I think that's smart. I think that's really smart thinking. That's not being selfish. That's being smart. And so, yeah. And so I just wanted to, I feel like I needed to, after I did that video, I was thinking, wait a minute, I got some more to add. I'm going to do a part 2. I got some more to add to that. So that's the reason why a lot of women are coming to that decision. And I think it's wonderful. Like I said, I love this for women. I love it for me. I used to be male-centered myself. See, like, all you can think about is a man all the time. Always think about a man all the time. And think your life ain't nothing if there ain't no man in it. And that is not true. With me though, I was starting to get on my own nerves. I was really starting to annoy myself, because I was making some bad choices and decisions because I was like that. And so I was like, I was just starting to get on my own nerves. And then, my mind wasn't right. My mindset wasn't right. When I was male-centered, my mind wasn't right, And so when I'm telling you, I was getting on my own nerves. And so that's why I'm so happy that I came to that, to that place where I'm decentering men and I'm focusing on me. I'm happy to be here. This is a happy place as far as that's concerned. If I'm unhappy, It's for another reason. It ain't for that. Trust and believe. And so I'm just glad that I got here. And you know, I used to, and there was people that would say all the time, well, focus on yourself. Don't worry about no man and everything. And I would get mad when people would say that to me. I used to get mad at people for saying that to me. I used to get so mad. She got her nerve, especially if that woman was already married. They had a reason for telling single women that, because they knew what it was like on the other side. These women already knew what it was like on the other side. So they had a reason for telling us single women that. She got her nerve. She got a husband. She got her nerve. She got a husband. But that's what I'm saying. They had a reason. They knew what was on the other side. And I used to have a sister, you know, when I was a Jehovah's Witness, the lady that I studied with, we were so close. We had got so close. And she would always tell me, a white sister, but she was like a mother figure to me. She was really such a sweetheart. And she used to tell me all the time, you know, it ain't what it's cracked up to be. She said, it's not what it's cracked up to be, baby. She used to tell me that all the time. You know, I really miss her. She passed away and I really miss her, but she used to tell me that all the time. She said, it's not what it's cracked up. She was married twice. She was a white sister and she had a black and a white husband. And she said the black one treated her better than the white one. And, and she said that, she used to say that, she said, it's not what it's cracked up to be, baby. She used to tell me that all the time. And you know, it would kind of go through one ear and out the other. But now I think back to what she used to say to me. I'm starting to think back to that. It's not what it's cracked up to be. So a lot of times when married women are telling single women these things, or they were married, they know what's on the other side. You know, but when you're single and you're male-centered, you ain't trying to hear all that. You ain't trying to hear all that, and you literally get mad. Because I used to get mad all the time when women, especially if they were married, she got her nerve. I used to get mad all the time. But now I understand, I really understand now. The light is so bright now, and I really understand why they were saying that, you know. Because, you know, it's not what it's cracked up. Well, I don't think anything in life is life ain't what it's cracked up to be. So nothing in life is what it's cracked up to be. So, yeah, marriage is work. It's a lot of work. And a lot of times women have to pour so much into these marriages. They have to pour so much into them. And a lot of women are coming to the decision because I came to that decision too, especially after becoming disabled back in 2020. You know, I got to the place where I couldn't work a job no more, and I was like, you know, I said, I don't know if I got enough I don't know if I want to get married anymore. I just don't know if I have enough to physically, mentally. I said, I just, you know. I said, it's hard enough me trying to take care of myself, you know. And I said, no. And that was one of the reasons why I came to that decision myself. So I'm good. If I never get married, I'm good. I'm happy, you know. I'm good. If I never get married, I'm good. I'm good, you know. So, and to be perfectly honest, I really don't want to be bothered. I really don't want to be bothered. And somebody made a point in a comment section. I know this video is long, but somebody made a comment in a comment section. Y'all know, I think it was a man. Y'all know, another video, a YouTuber I was watching the other day. I just binge watching her videos. Her videos was good. He said, y'all know if the right man was to approach y'all, y'all would, you know, y'all saying how y'all don't want to get married and all that. But y'all know if y'all ideal man was to come approach y'all know y'all would drop all that and take him. And I came in, I said, I don't know. I probably would still pass. I mean, I'm never going to say never, but yeah. Some of the women were saying, no, we still probably pass on that one, you know. And so, but that is a good point, though. I gotta admit, the man made a good point. That is a good point, you know. if your ideal, you saying you 4B, you're decentering man, well, you could dissenter man and still want to mate, but if you saying you 4B, if your ideal man was to approach you, would you drop all that and take him? That's a good point. Might be another topic for another video for another time. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drag this subject out, but I had some more to add to that. But that's the reason why a lot of women is coming to that. They just don't feel like they have enough to pour into motherhood, into being a wife. They just don't have. They're feeling like they just don't have enough. And I just think that things are shifting. I think we're going into another shift, especially the economy. Everything is so high and everything is so expensive, and everybody worrying about getting up on their money, you know, and women are don't feeling like they don't want to be totally dependent on no man, and they feeling like they want to get their own coins, and so women are getting more into their careers and more career orientated. So it's another shift that's happening, and that's part of the reason why the birth rates are decreasing as well. Because a lot of women are seeing how expensive it is, and these men don't do right and don't want to stick around and help you with the kids, or and whatever. If something happened to a man, they know they still might wind up being a single mother, and so a lot of women are saying, "No, I don't even want to take that chance." I don't even want to take that chance. So we're in another shift. We're literally in another shift, and so more women may come to that, and that's what the government is afraid of. That's what the government is afraid of. They're afraid that more women are going to start making the decisions to not have kids. But like I said in my one video, what incentive are you giving women to have kids? A lot of women don't see the benefits anymore. A lot of women are not seeing the benefits of motherhood. They're figuring it's more trouble than what it's worth. So hit me up in that comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what your thoughts are. Sorry that I'm dragging this subject out, but I had some more to add. So let me hit that like, subscribe, and share. And just let me know what your thoughts are. Until the next video, be blessed.